Hey guys, Vika here with a quick disclaimer for this episode. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues recording it, so it will be audio only.
Hello and welcome to Unstitched Podcast with your hosts Hannah and
Vika.
In today's episode, we are talking about parasocial relationships, what that means, and how to navigate them on social media as a small business or as an artist. Okay, so in today's episode, I wanted to cover this topic, even though it doesn't specifically relate to all stitchers, depending on how they choose to present themselves to the world online. But I do think it's important to cover because many of us do go hard for social media because that's the way that we promote ourselves these days. Mm-hmm. And I think it's an important topic to bring up because that term has kind of morphed through time with the rise of social media that's so instantaneous and designed for people to feel like a sense of connection through their phone or through their tablet. So basically, a definition is it's a one-sided connection that includes an individual that's on some kind of social media platform that presents themselves as not necessarily an influencer, but anybody who has a social presence online. Mm-hmm. And it's usually, back in the day, it was a parasocial relationship happened mostly with celebrities.
Right.
So,
yeah,
you think about your favorite singers, your favorite actors and actresses. It was usually just reserved for those people where you learned so much. And I'm guilty of this. My favorite musical artists, I go hard. I learn everything about them that I can. And I try to listen to all of their music and stuff. And it gives you this sense of connection, even though that person knows, doesn't even know you exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it can be a healthy thing, but I wanted to talk about more how parasocial relationships have shifted so much over the course of time because of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's all created this where anyone can make themselves become some sort of a public figure. It's no longer reserved for the elite status in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as a result, you kind of have to be a little bit more aware as you're navigating.
Yeah, I feel online. That's not something that people think about even, not even talk about. People don't think about that stuff because I haven't thought about it until...
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday, and you told me about it a couple of days ago, but yesterday I have, I'm really big into YouTube and I have some favorites that I'm religiously can't wait for that Sunday upload, you know what I mean? And there is two creators that just have one channel. It's a couple, and I absolutely adore them. And a lot of the time, because I've watched them for I don't know how many years now, and videos, they're 10, 15 minute long. There's a lot of time for you to get to know them in whatever way they allow, through the lens. I caught up on some videos basically yesterday, and at the end I was like, I need some more. I wish that I could. I was like, how weird would it be for me to message them on Instagram and be like, hey, this and this and this, or I thought that. That's fucking weird, but that's a desire that I had. I was like, I know you so well, you have no idea who I am. It's so weird.
Yes. And I think there can be a healthy bit to it, right? You're not harming anybody by consuming that content, by wanting to know more about them. Part of it is also most people who are putting themselves on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, any kind of social media platform are wanting that kind of thing to happen, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you want people to consume your content. That's one of the reasons why we make it. I mean, our hope as embroidery artists is to sell our products, right? For people to become invested in who we are so much that they want to buy the things that we offer. They connect to our art. They want to make art that's like ours, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So part of it is that you want that.
Yeah.
But there can be moments where it gets a little dangerous, a little scary. Yeah. And that was kind of the thing I wanted to warn anybody who's trying to sell their products online, any kind of artist, anyone who wants to have a platform, that you kind of have to be a little bit more careful with how much you share because it can be dangerous. And I wanted to bring this up because when I had that first reel go viral, I had someone stalk me pretty hard online to a point where I had to like file a bunch of complaints through TikTok and like try and like, the person no longer has an account because TikTok like deleted their account based on like the cyberbullying they were doing. But it got real scary. Like they were sending me messages that were like, Hannah, I know where you live, and like I know where your kids go to school, and it, like stuff that
is so bad.
I don't necessarily know if they truly knew that information as much, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't navigate it well because I had overshared a little bit of some stuff, and I had like mentioned before that like my business is out of my home, and so like that person went online and found out that I did local pickup. And that like found my address online, scary stuff like that. So I mainly wanted to mention that for the most part, parasocial relationships are fine. Like they're kind of healthy. And for a lot, at least I think for you and I, we're pretty open to people who like message us.
Oh, for sure.
I have grown real friendships through that. Like it hasn't necessarily been one-sided. And so I don't want people to think we're like saying, don't try and have a relationship with us or like don't inquire. Both of us are pretty open to that. And like we both strive for genuine connection. Mm-hmm. It does get a little dangerous though when people start asking about a lot more personal information. And so I just figured I would give like a kind of list of things that folks should be aware of, ways to kind of navigate all of that in a way that can be healthy so that you don't have to worry about someone overstepping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I feel like that would be pretty helpful. Like again, it is not something that you think about on a daily basis. Of course, there's always a question of like, what do I share? Is this too personal to share? Like, you know, if you have children or loved ones that, you know, help you film or end up in your videos and your pictures. Like for me, there's always a question like, oh, should I, that type of thing?
Yeah.
You know, expose those faces, those names to whoever, you know, is out there. You don't know who's out there. Things like that. But it is very personal. But I guess like, you know, kind of going back to we want people to see our content. That's why we're making it. But that doesn't give people permission to take it and abuse it in a way.
Yeah.
You know, like in the negative way. Like it's great if somebody has felt a genuine connection or has a genuine question or something, you know, there's some kind of quality conversation that can be had. You know, like we both are really good with DMs for the most part.
Totally.
And I'm never gonna hoard, not read unless they're red flags, which we can talk about later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. I think that could be useful for people to hear about.
Yeah. I mean, and a huge part of that is also I watched, I want to say it was a TikTok of someone saying that basically since the pandemic, we've entered a lot more parasocial relationships than we ever envisioned before because we long for that connection, that like feeling of community, and that we can even have parasocial relationships with people that we actually do know or knew at one point in time. And I thought that was kind of interesting because, you know, we weren't able to physically see people.
Yeah.
And so like, it's almost, you know, like we call like Facebook stalking or whatever, like that can be like a parasocial relationship. Like if you check in on someone and like they don't know that you're checking in on them all the time, and like you see the pictures they post and you see like their posts that they make, but like you don't engage with it at all. You don't like or comment.
Like the non-engagement kind of lurking in the background.
Yes.
I have multiple people that I'm like, story, I want to see that story, you know, like it's like every day. You look at how Instagram prioritizes people that you interact with. If you watch people's stories, it's always going to be in your like top 6 or whatever. That's at the header. And so there's always people that I'm constantly like every day I'm like, oh, what are they up to? But I never, like almost never, I guess. I mean, some of those people are like my brother's girlfriend, you know, things like that. Like it's not necessarily people I don't know, but there are some that I've never spoken to, but I just really enjoy like their life, you know, whatever they put out.
Well, and like you could have known them at one point in time too. Like I know there are a couple people that like went to high school with, and I'll be like, I wonder what they're up to right now.
Oh,
and I'll, like,
same. Yeah, I have a couple of people from high school.
I guess I'm not like checking up on them every single day, but it is like social media gives us this illusion of like true connectivity when really you knew that person 8-9 years ago. You probably don't know who they are now, but you're engaging with their content, so it kind of feels like you know them.
Yeah, it feels like you're still there.
Yeah, and and I thought that was a really interesting take because again, what we define as a parasocial relationship has changed so much, especially when longer form videos like started trending more on TikTok and Instagram. Like they went from being like 7 seconds to like now they're prioritizing like minute long things. And it's slowly morphing to like long form YouTube videos again.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see a rise in people starting to become really invested in the folks that they're consuming content from. So I just wanted to encourage anybody who is like wanting to put themselves out there a little bit more to think about a couple things. One, if you're in the United States, you should probably get a P.O. box because people might want to send you mail. And it could be super innocent. I've received so many wonderful packages and cards from people that are just like kind people. I don't know them at all. And they'll send me something like, I saw this and I thought of you. And they'll mail me something. But again, giving people access to your like a home address is a little scary.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's not
so
even
like
get
a P.O. box. It would be like my first thing of advice. And then number 2 would be any content that you put out. Remember, the internet is like forever. If you have other people, like you were saying, that are going to be in your content, figure out how to do it in a way that still gives them autonomy and still gives them like a sense of security and privacy if they want it. Like when I first started out, I didn't necessarily post my children intentionally, but like if they were in a shot or something and like you could see their face, I wasn't like, I don't know, I guess I wasn't as careful about it. And like now I share my children's faces and stuff and like my close friends' stories and stuff, people that I actually have a connection with. Like I would hang out with them in person. I've sent mail to them. Like I've talked to them thoroughly, but I won't post about them publicly anymore because I've realized like they don't really have the ability to consent to being in everything. And like I don't know how much they want to have their faces out there. And I don't know who's consuming my content, and it like makes me nervous if someone's like invested in knowing my kids.
For sure.
That's a little weird, you know? And like I posted a video of my husband doing voiceovers one time, which took off. People loved it. And everybody's like, you should have Sean do have Sean do voiceovers again. And it was great. It was so fun. But if I share clips of him at all, sometimes I get really uncomfortable messages.
Like what?
Oh, like kind of hitting on my husband.
Right.
And it makes both of us uncomfortable. And I know it could be like a very sweet like way, but it makes him uncomfortable. So I was like, well, I'm not going to post as much about you because like I don't want you to feel uncomfortable that I like made you part of my platform.
You should do the voiceovers though. You should absolutely do the voiceovers again.
He does have a voice for radio is what he was told before.
But also he's very funny.
Offered.
So.
He is. Yeah, he's a good guy. But again, I like just check in with the people that you are wanting to record and like make sure that they're okay with being in your photos, in your videos. It doesn't just have to be about you. And then the other thing I was going to make sure to mention is set clear boundaries of things that are no-nos, red flags, right? And things and ways to respond to people in a way that can be kind but still protect yourself. And I've heard that it's helpful to give examples. So like if someone messages me asking me something very specific about myself in a way that's kind of uncomfortable, it's not like getting to know you. Example, I got a message last week that said something like, "What's your shoe size?" Right. Never interacted with this person before.
Yeah, that's weird.
In that case, when I was starting out, I would like start replying. Like I would like type up a response and be like, that's a really strange question. Now I just delete and block it.
Yeah.
Because that has nothing to do with what I create. Maybe it was innocent, but also why just like cold message me about my shoe size?
Yeah, I mean, those are the time wasting moments. Like, you know, I would even say like there's no point of even thinking, oh, maybe it was good, maybe it was something else, maybe it was something positive, whatever. Like if they wanted to make sure that it would be positive, they would have paid more attention to what they're typing, you know, what they're putting in and how they're greeting you, that type of thing.
Hello.
If they don't,
how are you?
Exactly. Like, you know, it's just a question. It's just, that's it. Like delete. Even like honestly, even going back, we talked about this, genuine people who will see a video and then they'll straight up jump on DMs and just ask you straight up some kind of question to do with your art, to do with your content. I'll just delete I won't block, but I'll delete because if you don't even bother to say hello, I have no idea who the hell you are.
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time answering a question. Like, I don't think that my answer would even be appreciated. Like, you didn't let me know that would be appreciated.
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think part of that also, like, again, it ties into the parasocial relationship bit, is that people often view folks like us who give a lot of information as just like, we're just constantly going to push out whatever you want. Like, it almost gives this like false sense that like we're not actually humans, you know, like we're just here to serve. Yeah. Like we're just here to serve you. Yeah. And it's so gross and uncomfortable, especially when it's someone who like has, again, never engaged with your content. Like, Google it.
Yeah, like no hard feelings. I'm just deleting your question, even if you're asking me how many strands I use in this piece.
Yeah.
Like, you know, well, if it's very, very specific and they, you know, give me some kind of background, then I might respond. But if it's like out of the blue, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, where you're coming from, no hard feelings, I'm just deleting and not answering and not ever thinking about it again. Unless it's the topic of conversation, like right now.
And there are some times where I will get a message where they'll say like, hey, Hannah, I was watching this video. I noticed that you use this thread. I was super curious what you use. I have a like pre-responded reply.
Oh, that's
like
smart.
in like a saved reply. Yes, that says something along the lines of like, thank you so much for asking me this question. I am always eager to share information and help other stitchers. However, sometimes a message can come across and that makes me uncomfortable because it seems like it's coming from a place that's not just like questioning, like it's coming more from a place of wanting to copy.
Right.
And I can't remember my wording and I'm happy to share it. But like, because people will ask very specific things and I'm like.
Like what? Tell me. Can you think of the top of your head?
Yeah. So I've had people ask me questions about sulky sliver metallic. Where they're like, do you offer a template for how you make your auroras so straight? Could you show me if we did it? Could we do like a video chat, or would you make a reel that shows exactly how you make them so straight?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I have a saved response because sometimes it seems like maybe I'm misreading it. Like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's not malicious, but I want them to know it could come across that way. So I try really hard to like navigate that in a way where I don't just like assume they're terrible.
Yeah. See, I have an issue with demands out of nowhere. You know, like that's how I see those type of questions. Like, can we have a video chat, or can you make a video to show me how to do this? No, I cannot. Yeah. I would like to continue watching my TV right now, please. You know, or whatever that I'm doing. Yeah. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, if I were to do that for every person who asks, like, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. Like, come on, be reasonable.
And another saved reply that I have is something along the lines of like, I am a fully functioning human being that has a life outside of this app. I cannot do everything that every person asks me to. Thank you so much for respecting my privacy and my time. And I just send that off because that's the other part of it, is the boundary of like our time. Because again, social media gives this illusion of like you have contact to that person 24/7. You have access to that person 24/7.
Do you use the quiet mode on Instagram?
Yes.
You do?
I love it.
I think it's a great thing for those of you who don't know. Instagram's fairly new feature is for you to set up times during the day or night or whenever you want, and they're not going to notify you by anything during those times. Basically, they're not going to show you that you have DMs available. Like, you can go and scroll if you want to. You can watch content, whatever, but you're not going to see those, you know, like you have 3 DMs in there waiting to be responded to, or you're receiving comments. You're not going to see any of that. I started using that, but then I was losing, like, because my schedule is really weird. Like, you know, I can be up until 4 a.m. sometimes. I could go to sleep at 9 p.m. sometimes. You know, my schedule's all over. So if I don't have like a set thing, and it would be a waste of time to do it for every single day. So I ended up turning it off because I've missed some important DMs, like very important. Ones.
Yeah. And for me, I have it set for like pickup time for my kids.
Makes sense.
Until they go to bed. And then I have it turned on for when I'm sleeping. That's another thing that I didn't do when I was younger. It's hard, especially if like you have something that's getting a lot of traction, right? Like interacting with folks in comments and like, you know, responding to DMs and stuff when like things are going really well can be great. But it's dangerous to just always be on the app, always be accessible. Like I used to be someone who, if someone sent me a message, I tried to respond as soon as I could. I would like apologize if it had sat there for a little bit, like feeling bad that feeling bad that I wasn't like responding right away. And I quickly realized like that's super unsustainable. And it gives access to people that like I would never do that in person. Mm-hmm. If I'm eating dinner with my family and someone like was knocking on my door and like, hey, I have a question for you, I wouldn't like drop everything and like, sorry kids, I'm gonna stop eating with you, I'm gonna go answer the door and like answer this weird question.
Yeah. I mean, it like you said, it is unsustainable. So there is this side of things as well. You can't stretch yourself. Like you might think that it's fairly, what's the word? Harmless. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You might think that it's fairly harmless, but actually, like, once you reach a certain amount that, I don't know, I feel like you're also telling people that it's okay, you know, for them to invade you. Like, I mean, this is a very strong, weird word. Right. Not invade you, but you know, like, come into your day and just ask and expect a response quickly. I wish that Instagram had an unread button, because emails, I can't deal with emails, honestly. Like, it's so annoying, but at least I can read them and then click unread and then they're still gonna pop up and I'm gonna come back to them. With DMs, like if I open a DM and there's something that I need to do something for it and I don't feel like doing it, I still have to do it, otherwise I'm just gonna lose them. Like they're gonna
I flag things.
That doesn't work. Like my Instagram is weird. Like it's, you know, if I want to filter by flags, it does. It shows me like 3, because if you've not interacted with them within like, I think it's 2 weeks, it could be less, then it's not gonna show you even if it's flagged. It's really annoying. So
that's annoying.
Yeah, I wish that was a thing, because sometimes, you know, you just go into the DM and you're like, fuck, well now I need to do this, otherwise I'm gonna forget.
I have totally like accidentally ghosted people because I'm like, just give me a moment, I'm doing something, and then 3 weeks later I'm like, oh, I don't remember their username, and I was gonna respond to like 100%. And then I feel terrible.
That happens to me regularly. It's bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And the other part of that is also, and this is a word of advice because I have learned from my mistake, I always send them my email and I'm like, could you please send me an email with this information, because I will lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do the same thing. That's a really good tip. Like if you really don't feel like dealing with something, literally that's a life hack as well. Either you can ask them a question, whatever question it is, because they're going to respond to that question and you're going to have a new unread message. And so when you see the unread message, you're like, okay, I'm going to read that later when I can deal with them. That's a true life hack.
But that's with the mindset that you won't forget that you messaged that person a question. Because I would be like, oh, look, they respond. Click on it. Damn it.
No. Come on.
I can't do that. No. As soon as I ask the question and like exit out of the app, if I come back to it, be like, oh,
what is that? No. Who is that? I'm not going to lie. I've done that a couple of times, but for the most part, I can remember. But yeah, mostly it's like, hey, can you email me this query, please? Otherwise, like if you really can't if I can't deal with it, but I can't do unread, then I'll ask them. That's a good tip.
And then the other thing to remember is like you have power in whatever, like no one is making you share anything you don't want to share. And I know some people feel super pressured to share things. I, for one, share a lot of my own personal beliefs. I share a lot of my personal life in my social media. I choose to do that. No one makes me do that. No one makes me take stances on social issues. That's something I choose to do. And I do get really worried because I feel like sometimes social media has this feeling of like, you have to be vocal about this, or like you are not using your platform appropriately. And
True.
We would never demand that of people like outside of social media in that way. Like
it's mainly politics, right? But even like IRL, to be fair, like you would like, you're not gonna go for a cup of tea to visit a friend or whatever to catch up and then ask them like, so what do you think about this? Like, or you know what I mean? Like, have you spoken about it? Have you like, what are your thoughts? Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't do that in real life. So I don't know why people feel like they have permission to ask things like that on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know internet, everybody's fucking fearless.
Yes.
But,
Everyone. Yes. And that's the thing. People, it's so easy for people to hide behind their phone screens or their computer screens and tap away with their angry fingers.
Exactly.
And again, I choose to share what I want to share because I want to, but I don't think that every single person who has social media needs to be held to this like standard of like sharing everything, that because a lot of us, this is our business and we choose to run our businesses a specific way. I know some people are like, well, I don't want to alienate, you know, a portion of my following and stuff. And like, that's their prerogative. They get to choose what they want to do. So at the end of the day, if you are feeling pressured by people because they have this parasocial relationship with you, they feel like it's their job to like demand this of you, you have to remember that like at the end of the day, it's just someone you don't know. And another part of the...
sorry, yeah, please
No,
finish.
go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, when like wanting engagement in our content is a very natural thing. You know, like you go on YouTube, leave a comment, tell me about this, tell me that, let me know what you want me to do next. You know, these kind of things, they're such a like normal part of content creation nowadays. But for some people, like they'll take it real seriously. And so that I feel like those things unintentionally give people that permission to try and craft whatever they want to craft out of you and your content. And then when you give them the option of like, give me your opinion, tell me what you think, they will. And then if you don't like abide by, you know, if it's I don't even know, like, you know, you can ask them for, you know, what content ideas you have for me, like what kind of project do you want me to work on, you know, even if it's as simple as that. And people will comment and they'll follow up with the DM and saying, so how's that coming? Well, actually, like, I didn't say that I would do every single thing I was told, like, you know what I mean? Like, it gets really silly, but I feel like that's potentially sometimes where, you know, this demand comes from.
Yeah. So anyway, just something to like,
anything else?
Keep in mind. It's short and sweet. Like, you know, think about it. Like, think about how you are presenting yourself, and just make sure that you are protecting yourself, that you're not oversharing. Oh, the other part that I was going to mention is, unless it's like a specific like meet and greet kind of thing, I try not to post content of me in places while I'm in places.
While you're there. Yeah, makes sense.
If it's like
I'm having dinner at this restaurant right now. I never post things like that anyway, but I would post like a couple hours after.
Yeah, I try and post after. And again, like, that's, I guess, me being like hyper vigilant, but
exactly. You never know. Like, you don't want to take the risk. You don't want to take the risk. Yeah,
so for sure. Be aware.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's something to think about.
Short and sweet.
For sure.
Just something to keep in mind, especially for anybody who's like really starting to get traction on social media. Because like, again, the internet is forever. So
yeah, and from my point of view of a internet stalker that I am, stalker with a British accent, you know, like it's okay, like it's fine. You're totally following.
Yeah,
you're following. Like, you know, you have access to information and content that people are willing to share, willing to, you know, invite you into. Let's say like silently, and you can engage if you want to. It's not a big deal if you do.
It's not always a bad thing or anything.
It's not, it's not always a negative thing. Like, in fact, most of it is positive.
Yeah.
It's just more of a light type of warning to think about things that you're putting out for content creators.
Yes.
And for those of you who will be, if you will be, messaging people with just straight up questions out of the blue with no hello and explanation, don't do it. Like, that's gonna get deleted. So yeah.
And when it comes to us, like, the other part of it is it's like a one-sided, like, when it can be dangerous is when it's truly one-sided. I a lot of people who consume my content talk to me regularly. They do engage with their content in a way where they're commenting and stuff. And I feel like I have built a relationship to a point where I've met many of them in person and they're all very lovely. So I don't want them to think like we don't necessarily want a connection.
It's
just
the opposite.
Make sure that your intent is good. That's all.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, let us jump into part 2 of this episode, which
Part
is
2.
even more exciting.
Wait, do we want to do our segments first?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this shout out is honestly pretty overdue for myself. It's a fellow Brit. I'm not actually a Brit, but you know. Okay, so this person's Instagram tag is Pixels and Pearls. So it's PIXELSANDPURLS.
Oh my gosh!
I've followed them for such a long time. I don't even know how long. And I love the vibe. Like, today, shout out for me is the vibe. Also, I've had a conversation with this person, I'm pretty sure, a few times. Super, super fun. Sarah is her name. Absolutely love her art.
I've never seen her content before.
Oh,
So
well,
fun.
That's a good shout out then.
Yes,
yeah, she's
I love
really
when
cool.
you-
Like, you know, I wouldn't say, I don't know if she puts like a niche, you know, word in her stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't see like a huge niche there, which is what I love. Honestly, I don't even know what else to say. Like, just a hilarious personality. Absolutely love their content. Love what they do with their business. I don't know why I'm calling her they, just in case. Super cool shit. Like, super cool
You're
person.
just being inclusive.
I know. Maybe soon that's going to be a thing that it's the she, her, everything is going to disappear and it's just going to be them for everybody. I feel like that could be cool. Just a singular way to...
I mean, I feel like I would rather do that just because it's like all inclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not sure. So I'll just say they, them.
Yeah.
I just love how cheery, like the colors are so vibrant.
Yeah, she's really good with bright colors and things like that. I mean, like all of her branding and packaging is this like beautiful pale pink. I love it.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Shout out to you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Amazing work.
Shout out to you,
I'm pretty
Sarah.
sure she does listen to the podcast, so she'll know about it.
What? Well, now I'm so sorry. I wasn't following you before. This is amazing.
Yeah,
I love
why
that.
you're not following? To be fair, I feel like she should have more following.
When we've been on this app for so long, I almost like assume that I like have seen everything, and then like
it's so strange,
like this, and I'll be like, "What?
Who is
it's
that?
Like I feel betrayed by the app for not seeing it before."
Fair. So who's your shout out?
So mine is, their name is French. Their Instagram handle, I believe, is French, and it's Ibis en route.
Can you spell it?
I can't. I'm terrible at French. Okay, so Ibis, IBIS, and then NEN, and then route. ROUTE, an account by Monique. Okay, so not only is she an embroidery artist, she also has started making tapestries out of her embroidery.
I know,
so like
crazy.
A lot of what she does is like out of the hoop, which I love. I love that like she's kind of like found a way to make it her own. And
that's
like
tough.
Her pieces, and her pieces are like, it gives me this like, it's got so like a colorful folk art kind of feel to it.
It does.
But then it also has like this like witchy kind of vibe, and it's like playful and like colorful. Yes. And so I think she's also been working on like a tarot deck too, that she calls the nature
so
deck.
Much
and
work.
So she's making like all of the tarot cards into one of these really beautiful
kind of
tapestries.
Embroidery hangers.
Yes. And so she has such a calm voice. I just thoroughly enjoy listening to her talk. Yeah, and she'll like share. So the pollinator is one of the like most recent ones. So she shares a little bit about like why she decided to stitch it the way that she did, and then she like talks about like what the pollinator means and everything. And as someone who doesn't know very much about tarot but like finds it interesting, I just highly enjoy it.
That's so cool. I love
and
that.
she dabbles in lots of different things in the past. Like she has stitched on clothing. She's done like regular stick and stitch patch kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I really feel like she's kind of like fallen into her own, like truly gotten into
tarot
her own
cards.
way.
I mean, that's a cool ass idea. Such a cool idea. Cool,
and it's unique. I'm always just so shocked. Again, like what you were saying about Sarah's account. Like I'm just so shocked at like how
that's so cool.
Little, like she's got such a baby account, and I want to blow it up because it's
definitely.
So I hope I didn't butcher your handle. But anyway, check it out.
Cool. And let's do our relatable or not segment for today. I'll go first.
Yes.
Well, you still decide which one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Can I go first, please?
Go. You go.
Okay, this is social media related.
Okay.
When people post their reel in stories and then cover it with a sticker that says new reel, and I'm like, bitch, how exciting. I post like 2 or 3 a day. Like, imagine if I did that. I don't actually post 2 or 3 a day, but sometimes it happens. But yeah, I don't know how relatable that is. Like, have you ever put a new reel on in the stories for a sticker?
I used to when reels were new because I was like, hey, look, I'm like doing this. I don't now. However, now I want you to do it.
No.
I just automatically see. Here's me.
It's a no for me.
I automatically assume that if somebody shares a reel to their stories, that it's new.
Yeah, exactly.
So
also, you're bad at that. You can barely
don't.
share your reels to stories. I don't know why you don't do that. It's so weird.
I try. I want to.
For me, it's like literally after it's posted, it goes into my stories. It's a must.
I'm trying to be better. I do it with our podcast posts, like
sometimes.
Religiously. But
honestly, like some people, like when they do that, I'm like, that must be so exciting. Like, when was the last time you posted a reel? 3 months ago? You know what I mean? I feel like those stickers should not exist anymore. It's outdated.
Oh my gosh. I love how you're kind of throwing shade to that. Okay, well,
I don't know. Is this relatable?
My relatable or not is also has to do with social media, and hopefully people don't make fun of me for it because I feel like it's very millennial of me.
Ooh.
But who else gets super excited to change their avatar on Instagram? Because I do. I love updating my avatar.
How do you do the hair? Do you have to pay to like match your hair?
That's my favorite part. No, that's my favorite part. That's why. So I'm getting my hair done on Friday. It's probably going to be the same. I'm probably just going to redo the hair color. But like when I do big changes, I love going into there and like changing my avatar and like picking a new outfit for her and like
for her.
But no, they have amazing settings for hair. Yes, for me, for my online version. And I feel so silly when I get so invested in it, like trying to get my hair to match perfectly. But
to
like,
be honest,
the satisfaction that I get, I'm sure some people are like, I don't even use that. I think it's stupid.
I know.
But
I love it. No, I love it. Some people get it, like literally nail it so well. Like you've done yours very well. I did mine years ago, and then like, you know, when my hair was a bit darker and I had longer hair and things like that. And I used to wear a hat all the time. I don't anymore, but I still love the hat on my avatar. Yes. Literally 3 days ago, I was so bored on the sofa. I was like, I'm not doing fucking nothing. So I went on the avatar and I was like, okay, I'm going to play around with that. Literally was there for half an hour, only changed my hair. A little bit lighter now. That's it.
That is one of the things about Instagram that I thoroughly enjoy. Like if I'm clearly procrastinating, I'm not doing something else, but you know what I do have time for? Updating my avatar.
It's so silly.
Well,
I was attached to my old avatar. That's why I couldn't really do anything apart from hair. I was like,
the hat was pretty iconic.
I'm not going to change that, I don't think. Yeah. It's annoying. No. I love the hats, but I don't wear them anymore for some reason. I don't even know why. That's relatable. I want to say it's relatable. All right. So
we're going to get made fun of.
Part 2 of this episode. Are you excited?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited. We've got an announcement.
An official announcement.
An official announcement. In 4 months, I will be over my jet lag and thoroughly enjoying my time with Vika in UK.
Woohoo! Uni and Jack.
Excited. Woo-hoo!
4 months?
I will be going to in 4 months.
That's crazy. That's fast.
May, June, July, August.
Nuts.
Like basically tomorrow. I'm gonna
pretty much.
Yeah, I already have a pile of stuff in my closet. I'm not gonna open that closet because it's a hot mess, but I have a pile of stuff in there already accruing of things that I am packing with, and I cannot wait. And part of this also is I'm coming. It's a work trip, friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a work trip. We will be having some fun. However, we are dreaming up. We've been behind the scenes working on our next collab kit, and we're super pumped about it. We are going to have details I think we're going to like release in the next couple of months as we work on it, but
for sure,
truly something different, nothing we've ever done before.
I mean, we've done it twice,
like it,
right?
We've done collab kits, but this one,
it'll be a little different.
We've got a lot of fun ideas. It's going to be different, and we just can't wait to share all that with you. We're also planning on visiting the Nurge office too, which will be fun. Like that's part of this trip also.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a warehouse,
and-
nothing crazy exciting, but it is exciting for us because
It is exciting.
like, obsessed with nerds.
Diehard nerd people.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, to meet the people that I interact with via email in person is thrilling for me.
I get to interact with them on the phone.
Yes, yeah. Every once in a while. I think I've done a FaceTime video before with Richard.
Oh, cool.
But,
I've never done a FaceTime video.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, to be able to go and meet them is really thrilling.
Yeah.
And we'll try and part of this.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that we're gonna try and make some content.
Do a little
with them.
video content or something.
Yeah. Super exciting.
We'll be able to record some podcast episodes in person.
I know, I'm so excited. We're gonna have to bulk it. So Hannah's coming in August, middle of August, and probably until Christmas it's gonna be in person. Because we'll be releasing every 2 weeks, the usual, but they're all gonna be bulk made in here while she's here.
Speaking of which, also, because we forgot to mention it beforehand, we are going to take a little bit of a break after this episode just because we have some life stuff, shop update stuff on each of our ends that we just need to be able to dedicate time to that. So we're going to take a small little break. So you're not going to have another podcast episode for probably a month. Nothing is wrong.
We should be back.
Everything's fine. We're just going to take a little bit of a pause while we
say June 7th. We'll be back June 7th with a new episode. Sorry about that. But these are a little bit of work. So, going back to your trip, please, let's talk about it.
But yes, back to the trip. The other thing that we're trying to figure out, if you have suggestions for where to do this, we are hoping to do a meetup, possibly a workshop kind of thing where you bring materials and then I'll help lead you through a fabric collage thing. We're not quite sure where yet. That will be a part of it.
It will be in London.
Hopefully in London.
It's going to have to be in London. It will be London. I can give you the actual date because we've already discussed it. So it will be on August 21st, and probably the best time that we can think of is 7:30 p.m. This may change closer to the time because it's still 4 months to it, but the baseline is 21st of August at 7:30 somewhere in central London. It is a Wednesday, I believe, so it's gonna have to be a weekday. Sorry about that, but we will send out some kind of, well, actually we don't have an email list. We're gonna do it. How about you guys will include a link in our link tree. If you find our link tree through Instagram, TikTok, whatever, just our bio basically on Linktree, there will be a link to express your interest in coming to the meetup in London on 21st of August at 7:30. There'll be some details in there. And then if you have any suggestions for a place, if you're local, we'll probably be doing that for a few hours. So the place will have to be open until at least 11 p.m. Let us know if you have any ideas. We'll obviously do research ourselves as well and figure that out. Head to our Linktree once this episode is released. There will be a link for you to express your interest. Probably we'll ask for your email address so we can, if we need to communicate information to all the interested parties, we will let you know.
Yeah. And really, there are so many of you that I would love to meet. So if we're able to make that happen, that would be amazing. I would love to make some of our parasocial relationships both ways.
Turn it into actual social relationships.
A normal relationship.
Everyone's welcome.
So I'll be in the UK from the 13th to the 22nd.
Yeah, I'm so excited. There is a potential for a little meetup in Edinburgh. We are planning a day trip to Edinburgh sometime in that 10-day window. We are not sure when yet. We'll probably leave a link for that one as well.
Yeah.
So if you're somewhere in Scotland or north of England and it's easy enough for you to get to Edinburgh on an evening, well, actually maybe not an evening. We'll figure it out. Yeah, just let us know. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Also, the other thing, the other important part that I think we should also mention is that this next collab, which will be our third, which is crazy. That's crazy. This is our third row.
I know. It's a yearly thing now. It's a thing.
That we're doing it. Other thing to note is in the past two that we've done, it's been on my website based in the United States. And this time, ours is going to be based on Mika's website from the UK. So we're changing it up a little bit this time. And we're super pumped.
Yeah. So. We'll figure out the details and everything. And we'll keep you guys updated on everything. Yeah. Super exciting. Different things.
We're so pumped.
I'm excited to host you, you know?
I
freaking excited.
Cannot wait. I'm excited to meet your cats in person. Like, you would not believe.
They're excited.
I'm excited to spend more time with you. Like, see all the cool sites. I'm not really there like to sightsee per se, but just to like,
we will be doing
exist in the UK. Yeah, we'll be doing some, but that's not the highlight of the trip. Is for sure just being able to like hang out and be creative together. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. We're just so excited.
I know.
Thanks for,
very excited.
Supporting us. Yeah. For tuning in.
Cool.
Yes,
well, thank you so
we'll be
much
back.
for getting in stitch with us today. We appreciate you being here. Sorry we'll be missing for a month or so. We'll be back on June, what did I say? 7th. June 7th, Friday. We'll be back with the next episode.
June 7th.
Okay, bye.
Bye.